Spain off a couple of screens. Esquivel to Garcia. Off the deflection. Los Fresnos comes back and wins. Now Santa Maria will put up a three. Bang! Santa Maria!
Here's Warner. Here comes a headed jam. Counted for two. Field. Adios! And the Falcons win on a walk-off. And it's saved. What a game.
Smack to the left. That is gone.
Lob for Perez. That's my play. Off the backboard. Count it. And a win. And a win. Brian Perez wins the game for the Santa Rosa Warriors, and they go nuts. And why not?
Welcome one and all once again to another show. Luke Fruia Show. This time we will have a guest coming up with us here very soon. But of course, for now, you'll have me. We'll discuss a little bit, then we'll bring on the guests. We'll discuss more with the guests, of course, and it'll be very exciting. A lot to, of course, get to in this whole entire hour because it is packed with a lot of stuff from, of course, a little bit of the Olympics. Won't necessarily really talk about that, but the Winter Olympics is going on nice and strong. This is the first full week of Olympic play, which is always fantastic. With every single sport, they've already crowned a gold medalist in a couple of other events, including free ski, which that freestyle ski slopestyle to be exact. That's always exciting. I believe they have the big air for that very soon. They had the big air for snowboarding, the men's and women's snowboard, big air finals. That was a treat to watch. And slopestyle coming up very soon. You have the half pipe, I believe, tomorrow, which Chloe Kim has officially clinched the top qualifying spot for that. Of course, the American Chloe Kim, always a fun treat to go watch and see what she can do in the half pipe. And, of course, so many fun sporting events in the Winter Olympics. I always look forward to it. I look forward to the Summer Olympics as well as the Winter Olympics, but both of them really combined, it's a glorious time. So, of course, what I always like to do is I'm Jacob Young. This is Rio Sports Live Network. I always like to, of course, talk about what is in store for the rest of the week on Rio Sports Live Network. So let's get you caught up with, of course, what is coming up for Rio Sports Live Network. We have a couple of things this upcoming Saturday, but for the most part, this upcoming Thursday, we have one boys basketball game. Yours truly will be on the call in Edinburgh. Edinburgh High School taking on PSJ High School. It's going to be myself and Kane Torres. It's going to be on RSL 1. And then going on to Friday, we have a couple of games, two boys and girls soccer games. It's going to be at Sam Stadium. That's Brownsville Porta taking on Brownsville Lopez. Should be very exciting in itself. Then after that, well, during the same time, really just 7:30 p.m., it's only boys basketball for one game. And you have Brownsville Veterans. At Brownsville Veterans, they're taking on Harlingen High School. And then myself will be on the call at Mission High School for Laredo Nixon and Mission High. That's going to be an important game. And Edinburgh North and Edinburgh High School should be a fun call. Then, Saturday, we have a couple of things going on here. As at Brownsville Sports Park, we'll have this Taifa Football All-Star, these Taifa Football All-Star games, which will be very interesting to say the least in general. So that's what's going on this week for Rio Sports Live Network, the rest of this week to be exact. We had some big games covered yesterday, which was very exciting. Got to witness, of course, the McAllen Memorial MAC High rivalry for boys and girls basketball, which, again, is another check off the list for myself. I had never covered, I believe, the boys and girls basketball rivalry of McAllen High and McAllen Memorial, which was very fun. McAllen Memorial girls basketball were able to win convincingly, and they've, of course, clinched their spot. They are expected to, I believe, play against Harlingen South. As for the boys basketball, McAllen Memorial knew that it was going to be a very tough outing last night against none other than the Mackay Bulldogs. The Mackay Bulldogs, of course, if you all know anything about that team for the Mackay Bulldogs, well, they were coming into it, I believe, 34-0, if not just a couple of games before that. And yes, indeed, they were coming into that game 34-0, 14-0 in district. They won last night and advanced to 15-0. It was an interesting start because McAllen Memorial, they had the lead. It was 12-2 at one point at the start of the game for McAllen Memorial. They led throughout that whole entire first quarter and most of the second quarter. It wasn't until the second half of the second quarter where McAllen High School really turned up the heat and all of a sudden won. All of a sudden, we're able to take off and run with it. And so that was a big game in general. And, of course, Mackay, the Bulldogs, they win. What Mackay ended up doing last night was really playing spoiler to McAllen Memorial. What do I mean by that? You look at the standings. McAllen Memorial is now officially 7-7 in District 6 in district play, getting overtaken by the Pioneer Diamondbacks, who have to win out. Now they're 8-6, playing into their last game. Sherryland High are 8-6 as well. Sherryland High and Pioneer played against each other, and Sherryland won at Sherryland High School. So, going into it, for Sherryland High School, really quickly, they actually have two more games. It's at McAllen Memorial High School, and it's versus the Mackay Bulldogs. That is Sherryland High School basketball. That is, of course, this Friday that they play at McAllen Memorial. Why is this such a big game in general? Well, there's two things for it once again. Sherryland High School hold the playoff spot at the moment at 8-6. McAllen Memorial went to 7-7 with a loss against the Mackay Bulldogs. If McAllen Memorial win at home against Sherryland High School this Friday, it will depend on the Pioneer Diamondbacks and who they play and if they win that game. Pioneer Diamondbacks, with their schedule, will face off at Edinburgh Fella High School. That is a massive game in retrospect, laying it all out on the table. Vella High School looked like a very strong basketball team. If Edinburgh Vella are able to defeat the Pioneer Diamondbacks, it would eliminate the Diamondbacks from postseason play due to the fact of, again, the standings 8-6, they're fifth in district, they lose, and McAllen Memorial wins. McAllen Memorial, I believe, would hop over everyone, given Sherryland High School, of course, a loss because they'd be playing against McAllen Memorial. Pioneer would lose, they would go to 8-7. So technically, not anyone would be eliminated just yet. You would go into that final game, and it would be very, very close and very interesting to see how all of that would play out in 31-5A. That final playoff spot is very much up for grabs, to the point of where Edinburgh Vella has it locked up in third. The top three spots are now officially locked in 31-5A. It is the fourth spot that we don't know who's going to go. McAllen Memorial needs to win at home. If Sherryland High win, it eliminates McAllen Memorial from postseason play. As long as the Pioneer Diamondbacks win, it keeps them alive. But again, we talked about it, Pioneer playing Villa. If Pioneer lose to Vella, they have to hope that Sherryland High School loses as well because they're playing against McAllen Memorial. That keeps everyone alive. That's the flip. And then you go into that final week, that final game of play, and that is for a 4th seed on the line for everybody playing. And Sharyland High School, they play against Mackay. Mackay, again, can play spoiler and eliminate another team or eliminate a team from postseason play. That would most likely be Sharyland High School. And again, Sharyland have to win Friday in order to have a chance at a postseason bid. Because they're not guaranteed a spot even if they win against McAllen Memorial due to the fact of, well, if Pine... Here's the situation, actually, and I just realized this. If Sharyland High School defeat McAllen Memorial, they would have to hope for Pioneer to lose against Edinburgh Vella, and then Sharyland High School would potentially lock it up. It may still be open. I'm just realizing it again. There's a lot of variables into this, and I'm just trying to think of it on the fly, and there's a good chance that everything will be known by Tuesday of what can happen here, because I believe that everyone still has a shot at that 4th spot. Edinburgh Vella can play spoiler as well, like I mentioned, against the Pioneer Diamondbacks. If the Diamondbacks lose, again, the way that they need to stay alive is a certain realm situation where McAllen Memorial win and all of a sudden everyone is still alive because everybody is 8-7. McAllen Memorial would most likely hop over Pioneer and Sharyland High School. That's what we know at this time. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited for it. There's a lot to talk about. Again, we have not even gotten to the breaking news. I'll let my colleague, when he gets here, talk a little bit about it with me. We'll bring it up here as, again, we're going to talk about Progresso. We will talk about what's going on there. We will talk about, of course, after that, college basketball, mid-major, little surprise. UTRGV makes the national news headline with, of course, Barstool Sports officially saying with Rico Bosco, of all people, saying shout out to UTRGV. They're my pick right now as a mid-major of how hot they are. And it was a nice clip, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store for none other than Stephen F. Austin, FSFA, this weekend. If UTRGV can beat the Lumberjacks, that's a key victory for UTRGV, continuing with their hot streak, staying in 3rd place in conference play because they've officially updated the score, or they've officially updated it. And yes, UTRGV are in 3rd place, in fact, behind McNeese and behind, I believe, Stephen F. Austin as well. Right now, of course, if I were to look up the bracketology, they would have that mid-major of Stephen F. Austin as the most likely candidate to win the Southland Conference. But that is as it stands right now. So, very exciting. Again, we'll talk about that matchup coming up very soon. Of course, I also want to get into talking about, well, girls soccer for 31-5A, because that was a big night last night. Instead of being over at McAllen High School, it was over at McAllen Memorial for the basketball game. That was very fun. The basketball games, that was very fun to cover. And for the girls soccer match, we got the final score late at night. McAllen Memorial were able to defeat the Mackay Lady Bulldogs 1-0, which was not necessarily a shock, but that is the first time in program history that I can recall, and maybe from even Matthew Kaiser, that McAllen Memorial now have a 4-game winning streak against the one and only Mackay Lady Bulldogs. That stems all the way from 2024, when McAllen Memorial defeated the Mackay Bulldogs in PKs to win district, or to really, at that point, have district in hand, and ended up winning it that year in 2024. 2025, they swept McAllen High School Both those two games were big. McAllen Memorial were district champions that year, and now starting off on the road at Mackay, winning that game, winning that match. And, of course, that's the end of round one for soccer. We'll update you all on all of that, too, because it's going to be very exciting here. I'm Jacob Young. This is Rio Sports Live Network. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
It means a lot to me. TSC has changed me to make me realize that I can accomplish things. Just don't give up. I've come a long way from where I was to what I am now, and there's no limit to where I'm going.
Elevation, AT4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. Fruia GMC, we're professional grade.
I fell on a loose towel at the grocery store, and now they're saying it's my fault. Do you think you could help?
Of course I can help. You should be focused on feeling better.
Oh, thank you, Law Champ. Hey, do you think I can get a selfie?
Of course.
This summer, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your summer getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.
Back we go once again to hear from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. I'm Jacob Young. This is Rio Sports Live Network. Interesting, of course, to a note. And, well, we start off with, of course, the news. This was 21 hours ago. That was breaking, but it's the first time that I get to talk about it here on the show. And it's very interesting. The Progresso Boys Soccer forced to forfeit 4 district wins. The District 31-4A Executive Committee ruled that Progresso used an ineligible player this season, resulting in 4 forfeited district victories. The Red Ants will forfeit wins over Idea Alamo, Idea Edinburgh Quest, Idea Donna, and Raymondville. A decision that reshapes the District 31-4A standings. With the forfeits applied, the Progresso record drops to 8-6-0 overall and 3-4-0 in district play after previously holding a perfect 7-0 district mark. This makes the second straight season Progresso's boys soccer program has faced an eligibility ruling. I later learned as well that this was not only, of course, the first time for the Progresso boys soccer, but learned that that the biggest thing is that I believe it's the same athletic director or same coach or someone like that from Valley View a while back. And why do I bring that up? Because I don't know if people remember, but Valley View went through the same problems almost yearly where they would house ineligible players, as in they would play ineligible players throughout their season. And of course, they got away with it for years and a couple of times got busted. And it's such a common thing in the RGV. It's such a common thing in soccer, which is pretty interesting to say the least. There's not much else to say about it besides this has to stop. This has to stop. It's annoying because there are legitimate state champions in the Valley. There are legitimate state championship teams in the Valley that don't do that. That will go on to the next round, will go on to the regional finals and potentially play each other. Where, a chance of Valley View plays against Hidalgo or Hidalgo plays against Progreso in the regional final. This happened last year. And Hidalgo loses. Progreso had ineligible players on their team. But I'm reading a comment here from one of the posts, and it's true. When the penalties aren't severe enough, then it's worth taking the risks. That's why schools take the risks. Progreso is not the only one doing this. Well, and of course, that's a story for another, or that's a topic for another day, but there's chances that that's true. There's chances that that might not be true. And that's a big thing in general. I always go back to it. But for Progreso, it's the second year in a row. The biggest thing, of course, is that even though they were just forfeits. So let's take a look. Or let me tell you about, of course, the teams this year that have done this. Brownsville Lopez and now Progreso, the two teams that sat at the top of their districts that had close to unbelievable records. And both of them are now going to be fighting to try and stay alive in their districts for the season and make the playoffs. It does not shock me. I remember going, of course, to the media days here on RSL back at Nicky Rowe High School and McAllen Rowe High School and talking to the Progreso players and saying, hey, we can talk about last year all we want to, but what is going to be the key this year? And the players were adamant, like, this isn't happening again and all this, and well, it does. No one can take a team seriously like that. I definitely don't. Every single win, I'm going to be like, well, let's check if all those players are eligible to play on this team and didn't transfer from a different school. Sooner or later, that's going to end, and we will have open enrollment, and we'll have all these other things potentially. But I don't know where we go from here for this team. I'd rather them not only have the forfeited wins, but have to forfeit their season. Because this is the second time that this team has done that in the span of not even a full season. So, if you put that into perspective, a team that does this more than once, it's once a cheater, always a cheater. And they're proving it. They're proving it now this year again that they cheated for the second straight time in a row in the span of one season. It's not even been a full year since their last scandal. And on top of that, they're going to get to continue to play and have a chance to go to the playoffs. I'm looking at their record, and I read their record as well. That's not going to affect them in this district. I see the teams that they play halfway through the season. It's, the next part of the season starts Friday. The next round of district play, I should say. And I'm not shocked. That team will make the playoffs. And we'll go from there and see if they can make the state tournament, state semis and finals. I wouldn't be shocked if they do. But here with just forfeited games, I truly do believe that the UIL will look at this team even closer again and may make them forfeit all the playoff wins that they have and potentially take away if they make it to a state championship, because this is the second time. It's like it's like back in the day when the NCAA, of course, forcefully looked at the governing body and said, hey, this player passed curfew or whatever, and the coach did as little as possible to suspend him or whatever. And that's the truth. I do not see any way for this team to fall into the graces of the RGV media. That's just me. That's where I stand on it. Just like Brownsville Lopez, if either one of them make it to state, everyone's going to say, well, did they deserve to make it? Is this team? And it's most likely going to be no. So we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it all legitimately plays out. It's going to be tough. But, I mean, that's, of course, more to talk about, though, throughout the show. I'm Jacob Young. This is Rio Sports Live Network. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay tuned.
Turn your passion into a powerful career at Texas Southmost College. Our automotive technology program will train you in everything from maintenance to full vehicle systems repair. Earn a certificate or associate degree and get certified to work as a C maintenance or B-level technician. You'll be guided by seasoned instructors who have decades of real-world automotive experience, helping you get ready to roll into the industry. So take the wheel and apply today at tsc.edu.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Kenny Perez came from a small town in Texas. At Kenny Perez Law, we won't stop fighting until our clients get what's rightfully theirs. We're right by your side, no matter what. Call Kenny Perez Injury Lawyers today, 956-999-1111.
Permatemp Personnel Services has been servicing local businesses for the past 29 years.
Leave the hiring to us. Let us become your personal hiring guru.
We have a network of skilled employees to fit your needs.
Your success is our strategy. Don't hesitate. Call us now.
standard of excellence has always been Cadillac, so be iconic and drive one. Fruia Cadillac, Brownsville, Texas.
This summer, it's time to go outside and get some air. Explore a pirate ship. Or go horseback riding on the beach. And you can't forget about all the fun on the bay. South Padre Island has so much to do for the whole family. Book your summer getaway today. Visit SoPadre.com.
Back we go once again to hear from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. If you're in the market for a new car, well, come check out Buick. Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. There we go. Luke Fruia Motors, of course, here in Brownsville, Texas. It's on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon and 2:31 p.m. And it's been a pretty solid day once again as we take a look at the temperature, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy. The expected temperature throughout the day, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, actually. Now fluctuated down to 83 at 3 p.m. Only should get cooler, 82, 80 degrees. 77 by sunset should be around 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 at 7 p.m. to be exact. 6:20 p.m. is when sunset is, to be exact there. So that's really your kind of hourly forecast throughout this evening here in Brownsville, Texas. So like I mentioned, there's still so much, of course, to talk about. And the biggest news out of there was, of course, the Progresso Red Ants soccer program having to forfeit their games. Again, you heard me talk about it not too long ago. Now moving on, though, to the next part of this show. And really in the next part of the show, of course, will continue on to be a big topic as well, which is, well, we're talking RGV sports, so let's kind of continue on with that trend. And we talked about soccer. Well, now we're going to talk about the rest of the soccer and where everybody stands, of course. And that's with the RGV Soccer Coaches Association, coaches organization, I should say, because they do a really good job of keeping everybody in tune. And as we go down, as they have it since January 16th, how they've been keeping, of course, updated with it. But let's look at the most recent games that have come through. Of course, from Tuesday. We start off a little bit with, well, exactly how those games went last night. Tuesday, February 10th, girls and boys. Palmview versus Laredo Martin. That one went into PKs for the girls, and Laredo Martin were able to take care of business there in PKs. For the boys, soccer, it was 3-1. Laredo Martin ended up being victorious over Palmview. And then Laredo Nixon and Wanda's Lincoln played against each other. Laredo Nixon took care of business on the girls' side and on the boys' side. 3-1 on the girls' side, 5-1 on the boys' side. Rio Grande City played Roma, and Rio Grande City won 1-0 in the girls. On the boys' side, it was 3-0 versus Roma, and Roma took care of business on that end. Laredo Figueroa played against Mission, and it was 6-0 Mission High School, 6-1 on the boys' side. 6-0 Mission High School for the girls, and 6-1 for the boys. That was, of course, the 34A district. So very exciting there. So that was, of course, for really 35A. I'm trying to find, of course, 31-5A and 32-5A, and I believe it's up here. So that's exactly where we are. Tuesday, February 10th. Now we have the scores for this district. And, of course, the Mackay Lady Bulldogs are taking on the McAllen Memorial Lady Mustangs, as well as, of course, Mackay Bulldogs and McAllen Memorial Mustangs. In the first match, McAllen Memorial took on Mackay in the girls' soccer realm, and 1-0. McAllen Memorial ended up winning, being victorious there. And on the boys' side, it was the same score line. McAllen Memorial took care of business on the road and won 1-0. As for McAllen Memorial, they stay undefeated in district play and undefeated overall. How about PSA Southwest versus Edinburgh Valley? It was 5-4. Edinburgh Valley just outlasts PSA Southwest. As for PSA Southwest beating Edinburgh Valley 2-1, though, in the boys' soccer side of things. For Sherryland High School facing off against PSA North. Sherryland High School girls soccer took care of business 4-0. And how about the boys doing the same thing, 4-0? And then the Nicky Rowe Warriors taking on PSA Memorial. It was 9-0 Nicky Rowe on the girls' soccer side and 2-2 in the boys' soccer side at the end of regulation. Who won in PKs? That will be none other than the Nicky Rowe Warriors. So now that ends, of course, the 31-5A first half of play. And then, of course, they'll move on to the second half of play not too long from now. So very exciting once again. So the boys will play at 6 p.m. starting, of course, on the second round, and the girls will face off at 8 p.m. starting in the second round very, very soon. We go back down to it. January 16th, this is going to be exciting. Sherryland High takes on McAllen High School. That was actually January 16th. Well, I was a little behind there once again, but again, that's what you're looking at. I wanted to see the, not necessarily rankings, but the standings for all these schools. So we'll go all the way down and see if there are any. Didn't look like that there were any standings in general. So just off of McAllen Memorial Girls Soccer, we'll give you an idea of where everyone is in 31-5A really quickly. And then we'll head on to another commercial and get things situated to talk all basketball. Full, of course, McAllen Memorial, they sit at 8-0 like we mentioned. McAllen High School sit at 6-1 apparently, according to Max Preps. Rowe Warriors sit at 6-2 now. Edinburgh Valley 5-3, Pioneer 3-4-1. And Sherryland High School 6-3-5. So that's around accurate for the top four still. Edinburgh Valley still hold it. But at the moment, it's really a three-horse battle, potentially for a district title. Still, of course, that first round is officially done and dusted. Everyone should have 8 matches played. And if not everyone has played 8 matches, well, then we'll have maybe a team that doesn't play on Friday and other teams that play to get to with that 8-match mark. And then after the 8 matches are done, well, we flip off to the second round of play. Second round of play, of course, will just have the boys soccer take the field first. The girls soccer would take the field after for the matches. That's how you flip-flop in general. So very cool indeed. 31-5A always in girls soccer, I always feel like are the top. Now, of course, one team that has that's on everyone's mind as well has to be Harlingen High School girls soccer. And the reason, of course, being Harlingen High School girls soccer are very high up in the state ranks, according to the Coaches Association up in Texas. And that always makes me curious. They're ranked second in the state rankings, which is wild. Well, from Max Preps, it says 9th in the Texas rankings, so I think they're just ranked 9th overall in the Texas rankings. And let's look at, of course, the standings here. Harlingen High School, of course, they kind of just started their district play, and 12-0 in district play. They might have actually had a couple more matches played in general, but you go back to it, beating Brownsville Veterans Memorial High School 4-0, and then against Hannah on the 13th is expected. They might have had a game in between, but it's not listed here on Max Preps anyway. And so just taking a look at the rankings, for example, as they're ranked in 9th in all of Texas, national rankings 82nd, but let's talk about the rankings very quickly. Ranked 9th, South Lake Heroes 1st, Wakeland 2nd, Forney 3rd, Smithson Valley 4th, Episcopal 5th, Coppell 6th, Lovejoy 7th, Lake Ridge 8th, and Harlingen 9th. They have McCallum Memorial ranked in all of Texas in 22nd, which is just, it always confuses me and just makes me curious of how they all get all of these teams in general to be ranked, which is pretty interesting in general. So very exciting, like I mentioned, for this team. See how it'll all go. But yeah, we'll take a quick break. I'm Jacob Young. This is Rio Sports Live Network. Stay tuned.
Rev up your future with Texas Southmost College's Auto Body Repair Program. In just 2 semesters, you'll gain the skills to become an auto body repair specialist. Learn using industry standard iCar Academy to get you job ready fast. If you're ready to drive your career forward, TSC's Auto Body Repair Program is the place to start. Classes are filling fast, so visit tsc.edu and apply today.
If you've been in a car crash, call Kenny. We're available to take your call 24/7, and we don't charge a fee unless we win your case. When you're in a car crash, call Kenny. Call 999-1111 now for a free consultation.
At Tortilleria Ibañez, flavor starts fresh every day. Crispy flautas, homemade tamales, and our signature chicken salad, all made for you. Tortilleria Ibañez, tradition on every plate.
Come see me today here in McAllen, Texas, and turn your gold into opportunity.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Back we go once again to hear from none other than Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. I'm Jacob Young. This is Real Sports Live. Going to be a very exciting game this upcoming Saturday, as there's one, of course, that, well, I want to talk about, and really going into everything about this team. That's UTRGV basketball. Let's be clear. At the start of the new year, January 3rd, UTRGV lost to Texas A&M Corpus Christi 63-59. Played at home against UIW, lost, check that, 180-67. Lost against East Texas A&M University 77-69. Played against Northwestern State, lost 64-63 in a tough loss. But this is where the tide turned. Played at home against McNeese State, 179-76. Played against SLU, 168-65. Played against Houston Christian at Houston Christian, 168-51. Played at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, 164-55. Played against UIW, scored 106 points to defeat UIW, 106-93. Played against Houston Christian at home, 174-57. Played against New Orleans, 195-76. Played against Nichols, 192-72. And all of a sudden, at home this Saturday against Stephen F. Austin, UTRGV, if they're able to defeat Stephen F. Austin, well, it would just put a blemish in Stephen F. Austin's record at 15-2. They would have to hope that McNeese State, of course, would lose as well to help them out, due to the fact of, well, with UTRGV being 10-6, they would move up to 11-6, still would be third place overall. But this was a big day for UTRGV men's basketball in general. And it was very cool to see. Rico Bosco of Barstool Sports decided it was on FS1, yes. It was on, I believe, Wake Up Barstool. And this was the coolest thing. Shouted out UTRGV. He did get, of course, I believe, a present from them, but still shouted them out and talked about how hyped he was with the mid-major and thinking of how exciting it would be in general. And so, yes, UTRGV getting the national respect on national TV on FS1 as well from Wake Up Barstool. That, it's just, it makes me very happy. But if you were to look, of course, like I mentioned, at the bracketology, it still would show that they expect Stephen F. Austin to get a spot into the tournament right now due to the fact of where they sit. And even if UTRGV were a 3 seed, this would be a big deal for this team in the Southland Conference. So the Southland Conference, of course, tournament for basketball is very interesting. Tournament. So tournament basketball bracket is what I was trying to look at very quickly. And the reason, of course, why I wanted to make sure everything that I looked up was correct is because sometimes these conference tournaments, these mid-major conference tournaments, like to change things up. So you go all the way down. Number 4 seed versus winner of game 1. And, of course, that's for the men's. Number 1 seed versus winner of game 3. And so you have number 1 seeds, number 2 seeds. You have the men's championship games. So what I was looking for was more of a bracket sort of, just to see how it all kind of would shape up if UTRGV were third. Because the key of these conference tournaments most of the time is to play as little games as possible, is to break automatically either into the quarterfinals or break automatically into the semifinals, where you only have to play potentially 2 games, which would be the semis and championships. In those big conferences like that, they normally kind of do that. And if it's a 3 seed, most likely you'd have a 3 seed playing a 4 seed or something of that sort. And, of course, just go to the basically, if UTRGV can play 3 games in the conference tournament, that is perfect. It would most likely right now, of course, be Stephen F. Austin as a 1 seed, McNeese State as a 2 seed, UTRGV as a 3 seed, New Orleans as a 4 seed. There's still, of course, multiple games to be played, and so there's still a lot to kind of figure out. And of course, but yeah, there's still, like I mentioned, there's still a lot to figure out from both sides. And that's kind of what I wanted. So men's first round game, 1-5 p.m. Number 5 seed versus a number 8 seed. And then a number 7 seed versus a number 6 seed. You get into, of course, the men's quarterfinals, number 4 seed versus winner of game 1. And then number 3 seed versus winner of game 2. So, yes, as a 3 seed, you'd automatically be into the quarterfinals. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to be at. I think it would work perfectly. That would be, of course, Monday, March 9th for the men to have a secure spot in there. The women's team, I have not necessarily been keeping up to date with that team, but I believe they're also on a hot win streak, which is key for this team and key for this program. The biggest thing is, of course, as Rico Bosco did point out for the men's basketball team, they're looking for their first back-to-back winning seasons since, well, a long time back. The coolest thing would be where, of course, UTRGV would sit. And, of course, the biggest thing to look at is the net rankings. UTRGV are not favored in the net rankings. It's really as simple as that. College basketball net rankings kind of have UTRGV sitting still in that over 100 realm at the point of where they were at one time, 116. UTRGV, of course, getting a couple of wins really helped to benefit themselves, but have since moved to 134 in the net rankings. I believe they're up to 162 at one point. So, yeah, up to 134 in the net rankings behind Seattle University. So, that's not good. For example, look at a lock of a team that is going to be in the tournament, guaranteed. And that would be, well, right now, actually, it could be a lock for an at-large bid. That's McNeese. Their net ranking is 64th. That is the team in the conference at 18-5 overall. That's where you want to be in the net rankings. You want to be up there. USC, Southern California at 49. Baylor at 47. Texas A&M at 42. Still so-and-so for, of course, that team. Auburn at 32. They would be a lock in the NCAA tournament. Kentucky, same deal at 27. Alabama at 23. So you want to be around really in the 40s for your net ranking, and UTRGV are at 134. So their hope, basically, their only hope for postseason play when it comes to the main dance itself, the NCAA tournament, is to win the conference tournament in the Southland Conference. Beating Stephen F. Austin would help boost their rankings in the net rankings, because you can take a look at the AP poll all you want. If you're ranked in the AP poll or close to, of course, the top 25 there, and we're still receiving votes, you will most likely be a lock in the NCAA tournament. That is a guarantee. Now, for other teams that don't have it, you put 2 and 2 together, and UTRGV, of course, along with other teams like Stephen F. Austin, would have to win their conference. Remember, there's 68 teams, I believe, that are into the NCAA tournament. So we look at it. I'm excited. UTRGV, for myself included, I'd like to see them get up to, before the end of the season, into the 90s, potentially into the 80s, because they could have an at-large bid to get into the NIT tournament if they don't win the if they don't win the Southland Conference Championship. That's the way that it looks right now, and I'm very excited about it. UTRGV look good. They have Stephen F. Austin this Saturday. This next week, I think I'm going to try and get an analyst on this show that knows a lot about UTRGV basketball. We'll talk with them and just kind of break it down, because especially if they continue on with this win streak, that will be key. Very exciting, very good show indeed. I thought we were going to have on a special guest. He didn't end up showing up, which is completely fine. And looking forward to this next, not necessarily season, but looking forward to this next week. Looking forward to a lot more sporting events. Playoffs, of course, in the RGV will start up. One of your first-round matchups that I can already say that is a guarantee is at Cal-Chelsea. They'll be taking on McAllen High School in boys basketball. So very exciting once again there. And then for the girls basketball side of things, already have a lot of confirmed matchups there. As actually we can tell you all about those confirmed matchups before we head off the air from 31 and 32 5A. As, of course, we have really quickly from Max Preps, Callan Memorial girls basketball, for example. We'll tell you all exactly who they're playing, and that should be very exciting indeed once again. They'll play Harlingen South High School, and then Rowe, of course, have made the playoffs. Sharyland High School also ended up making the playoffs. They did not win last night over PSJ North. PSJ North girls basketball win district, and they will be facing off against Brownsville Rivera in the first round. Sharyland High School in their first round of play, they will face off against none other than, well, they do not have a team just yet, but either way, that's very exciting. Playoffs will be right around the corner for basketball. Stay tuned for all of that fun action.